our mission statements. So when we were talking about lower Earth orbit, well, NASA, in fact, they were thinking about sending people to, doing experiment on the lower Earth orbit. And when we're talking about going to the moon, they were talking about going to the moon. When we were talking about going to Mars, they were actually talking about going to the Mars. So we're not just like thinking in vacuum. What happened between Studio 4 and 5? Something interesting happened. Obama became president. He decided they're going to cancel the lunar mission. That's very sad news for NASA scientists because you work years after years having all that resource, all that knowledge, all that personnel, getting ready. They are totally ready to go to the moon. And then Obama said, oh, well, we don't have enough money, we're going to cut it. Instead of sending real people to the moon, or back to the moon, if they actually did it the previous time, we are going to send droids, robots, for our space mission. Kind of similar to U.S. military initiative about sending drones to Afghanistan, although that we don't have anything has to do with that. We can only imagine. But one thing for sure, a lot of budget from NASA has to do with the Department of Defense, right? Okay. And we're going to the Mars at one point. So, well, one thing about canceling a program after years of initiative is that all the people working together, they can no longer be working at that project together anymore. So people left NASA for private sectors, working for other companies. And well, the idea, well, some people would say, okay, we still have all the documents, all the resources, we can still bring people together again and try to pick it up at some point in the distant future. But no, that's never going to happen. Having a group of people continuously working on one subject is important. So that thing is totally dead. And missions to Mars. When they were doing that, while they were doing the missions to Mars, they heard, well, which was later confirmed and actually happened, that the space shuttle program was cancelled. Yeah, we're no longer sending space shuttle to the outer space. No longer. And mission to deep space, which is our year. Why? Because we start imagining, okay, we're at a very interesting point here. We don't know what's going to happen next. In fact, a lot of things happened that year. Not only NASA got its lunar mission canceled, its space shuttle program canceled, our professor died the first month the studio started of cancer. And then somehow we continued. Which is why Studio 7, they decided they're going to build space medical facilities. So now, mission to deep space. This is a project, okay? So I have, after all that long talk, I'm going to give you a lot more boring talks and show you very few pictures of my own projects. But we always have to start with a money shot. Like, this is a project. What does it look like? It actually looks like a whole bunch of garbage, like your morning breakfast that you wrap it up and throw it into the garbage bin, which is exactly what it is. Now, this is the mission statement. All satellites plus the International Space Station plus the Space Jam equals to a new space museum in the age of space tourism. A lot is going on here. Let me explain. We have sent a lot of satellites into orbit throughout our history. And anything that we left in orbit, they're going to deteriorate, they're going to break down, and at one point they're going to just be like garbage. Can you imagine? You have millions and millions of pieces of garbage floating around planet Earth. See, satellites are important. Why? If I want to watch CNN at night, and I'm here in Taiwan, the news broadcasting, where does it come from? Satellite transmissions. If I want to watch a sport game, let's say I want to watch FIFA, well, it's never going to happen in Taiwan, so there's going to be some type of transmission, right? And all the satellites, including the International Space Station, well, even though we call it a space station, it's still a satellite, just a very big one. They are being damaged by space debris. And those, it could be as tiny as half a screw, not even one screw, half a screw. And it could cause a lot of problem, a lot of money to repair them. And a lot of lives at threat. Imagine, we still have scientists up there, right? So, in our culture, in human culture, there's a habit of bringing things back to your place. Let's say colonizers bringing back artifacts from your colonies and try to build a museum. Let's say, hey, British Museum. Does anything inside the British Museum actually belongs to the Britain? No, I doubt. So anyhow, so satellites. If we just leave all the satellites in space, they're just garbage. But if we bring them back, they might become artifacts in the museums. But wait for a second, do we really want to bring all the artifacts back from the space? Now, just to look at how many things we send to Earth. Well, currently there's 1,100 active satellites up there. Even more that are not working. More. And not just satellites, we throw a lot of random shit into the orbit. From, can you see the writing here? Do I need to read this?
Yeah, we can.
看得清楚吗？
Yeah, clear.
看得清楚吗？
Clear.
这里就可以okay. So anywhere from a tool where you apply some kind of material onto the International Space Station, to a tool bag, to glove, to tanks of ammonia, to okay, this one's amazing. The creator of Star Trek, he had his ashes sent to outer space, or someone's pee, okay, right, peeing in the universe. It's quite a scene. Pliers, cameras, anything. Okay, look at this diagram. All the garbage are actually floating around lower Earth orbit.